Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum and I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction Company taking a look at some of the guns that they're going to be selling in their upcoming December of 2017 premiere auction. Today we have an Alsop Pocket model revolver. This is an early Civil War design, bears some resemblance to the Savage revolvers, and we'll see why when we talk about the guys who actually designed this. So let's take a closer look. Well, no sense talking about this from way back there where you guys can't even see it. The Alsop Pocket here is one of two guns that were designed by Charles R. Alsop of Connecticut, the other being a Navy model. So this Pocket is a 6-shot 31 caliber revolver. It has a 4-inch barrel, that's about 100 millimeters. The Navy model was basically the exact same design, but 36 caliber. Both of them had spur triggers. So the idea of a spur trigger is there is no trigger guard. The trigger itself is recessed into this, well, spur, and it clicks forward just slightly when the gun's cocked and ready to fire. It's basically a way to reduce some of the bulk of the gun and allow you to have a practical trigger on a gun that's a little bit smaller without having a trigger guard get in the way. Now these pistols bear a lot of visible similarity to Savage model revolvers, and there's good reason for that. All three of the Alsops, Joseph Sr. and both of his sons, Charles and Joseph Jr., were actually listed on the board of directors as stockholders in the Savage Arms Company when it reorganized around 1860. So they were very familiar with Savage, and in some ways the Alsop guns are a little bit of a refined version of the Savage. Charles Alsop, requested and was granted a couple patents for these guns in 1860 and 1861, although he would only actually make about 800 of them in total. He did about 300 of these pocket models and about 500 of the Navy model guns, all run in the same serial number range. So this particular one is serial number 655, but as I said, the one serial range for both models. The grip on this has been described by some as rather awkward with this little hump in the back of the grip. I actually find this to be a very comfortable gun to handle. It's a comfortable gun to aim and, well, I imagine to fire, although I haven't actually shot one. One issue here that does come up is that this central mounted hammer comes very close to completely obscuring the sight picture, as you can see there. Now, as a pocket model revolver, are the sights that important? Well, maybe not. It is convenient to recock. The grip on it is really quite nice. And on this particular example, the finish is in really kind of extraordinary condition given its age. And I really like being able to take a look at something like this where you can really see what these guns looked like coming out of the factory. It's a smooth gun to operate, and honestly, it seems like a really nice little pocket revolver, which I think probably contributes to why so few of them were made. That being the reasoning there being it was a very nice little pocket revolver, perhaps too nice. It was a fairly expensive gun, and it appears that the biggest reason that production had to end, well, two reasons: not enough people buying them because they were expensive, and there were also a fair number of other firearms manufacturing concerns in Connecticut. This was made specifically in Middleton, Connecticut, and so the Alsop family had to compete with a bunch of other companies to get qualified, skilled workers and to pay them a competitive wage, and they just weren't able to do that between the cost of production and the price that the market would bear for pocket revolvers. The markings on this are really small. We have a C.R. Alsop patented November 26th, 1861 on the cylinder there, and we have markings on the top of the barrel as well. C.R. Alsop, Middleton, Connecticut. Patented July 17th and August 7th, 1860, and May 14th, 1861. The things that make this revolver a bit distinctive are, of course, the grip, which is rather more in line with the cylinder and barrel than a lot of the other revolvers of the time, and the fact that it has a central mounted hammer here. So there is actually a hole in the top of the frame that the hammer drops through in order to fire each cylinder. And the cylinder and rotation mechanism are a bit complicated and a bit fragile. You'll notice there's a plate on the back of the cylinder there The mechanism actually rotates that plate, which then rotates the cylinder in turn. There were definitely simpler ways to do this, although not necessarily simpler ways that weren't covered by other people's patents at the time. This revolver also gives us a nice selection of finishes that you can take a look at, which is cool to see. Obviously, there's this nice deep blue on most of the gun, but then we have case hardening on some bits, like the loading lever here, which of course drops down like so. And we also have then straw finish, that gives it this nice brilliant yellow color on the back portion of the cylinder. It's really pretty unusual to find Civil War era guns that are as nice as this one still remains. And it's really cool when you're able to do that. You actually get a feel for what these guns looked like and felt like and how they handled out of the factory, which is often a lot different than what a gray, worn, and loose example feels like today, more than 150 years later. So definitely a really nice example of an Alsop Pocket here. If you'd like to add it to your own collection, take a look at the description text below the video. You'll find a link there to Rock Island's catalog page for it. And you can see their pictures, their description, their price estimate, all that sort of stuff. And you can place a bid right through their website or over the phone or live at the auction. Thanks for watching.